In this video, we are going to be doing a mixed hunt. We got $60 in quarters, $75 in dimes, $20 in nickels, and $5 in pennies. We're going to start off with the dimes first, then move on to the quarters, nickels, and pennies. Let's start the hunt. On roll number 6 of the dimes, we have our first find, and it's going to be a foreign. The reading is different, probably going to be Canadian. And it is, what year is it? It's a 1985. Roll number 10 of the dimes, I have a pretty good find. It's a proof. It's a 2010S. Pretty rough shape, but that's a proof dime. Well, on the last roll of the dimes, we do have a find. It's just a 2009P. Probably not going to be anything else in the rest of this roll, but I'm going to look through it, and then we're going to move on to the quarters. We're on roll 3. It looks like a find, but it isn't. That edge looks really silvery. There's no copper on it, but if you turn it, there is. That really convinced me. That's the edge I saw. But it's just Denver minted San Antonio Missions quarter with a really weird edge. That got me for a second. No finds in the quarters, other than a few bicentennials and a couple of 2009s, so we're going to move on to the 10 rolls of nickels now. Did get 2 finds in roll number 2 of the nickels. First was a 1942 Philadelphia non-silver, and then a 1958 Denver. Roll number 6, we got a 1946 D. 7th roll, we got a 1951 Philly, which I believe is a slightly better date. Roll number 9, second foreign of the whole hunt, is a 1975 99.9% nickel, Canadian nickel. Out of the last roll, I did get my first 2021 nickel out of Philly. And that's it for the nickels, so now let's move on to the pennies. Still on the first roll, and we have a first wheat cent of the hunt. It's a 1942 Philly. Roll number 5, and I saw 2 wheat edges in this roll. Right there, and then this one has a date. This one I already saw. Aubers facing, 1940 Philly. And then this one, so it's going to be a newer one, 1945 Philly. 2 more wheat cents in that roll. Roll number 8, and we got third foreign of the hunt, all different denominations, all Canada. It is a 1981. Mixed hunt has been completed. Let's go over the finds. The pennies, 5 S-mints, which were all 1969s, which is pretty interesting. 2 2009s, and a 1981 Canadian. For wheats, we got a 1940, 1942, and a 1945 out of Philly. For the nickels, 5 S-mints, a 1942P non-silver, 1946D, 1951, and 1958D. Also, we got our first 2021 out of Philly, and a 1975, pure nickel Canadian. For dimes, we got one 2009 out of Philly, a 1985 Canadian, and a 2010 S proof. Quarters didn't produce. We just had 3 bicentennials and 2 2009s. Overall, that was a pretty good mixed hunt.